We are the DFPN. Always question the answers.
No Gimmicks Podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, this the time to move around. No Gimmicks Podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring, this is time for the No Gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state is mine, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks Podcast here on the DFPN. And you know what it is. It's Thursday, which means we're back with some MPX. We're going to be talking some MPX tonight. Hard times coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Great show that we're just leaving off the tail end of all night long. Great event. Great stuff coming out of that show. So Hard Times is gonna be a good show. Joining me again, the choice, Matt Andrews. What's up, buddy? Welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure to be here, Calvin. I appreciate you welcoming me in every single week that we get to do this. Talk a little MPX, talk a little anything that you're wanting to. So happy to get into it. Glad that MPX continues on its weekly trend of putting on great shows, and I think this weekend is going to be, I don't want to say a sleeper because obviously I want people out there, but I think it's going to go as a very underratedly very good show.
No, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. There's some great matches stacked up on this card, so a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I want to jump in first before we get into MPX. There are some things that's been happening in the industry that I want to get your thoughts on. Namely, we got an appearance on AEW Collision, and it looks like she's going to be in the Owen Hart tournament. The Dominion Overlord herself, the fallen goddess Athena. Thoughts on her popping back up on the scene, man?
So I not being one that follows the AEW or TNA product as closely as I do WWE. It's not to say that I don't follow it, but I definitely know that there's been so much talk about Athena being completely underutilized in almost every situation. Now, I think there's something about that kind of just being the fact that like she's kind of run out of opponents, right? She's gone over almost. Over 2 years as champion. And it's hard to find opponents when somebody's been in a reign that long. We kind of saw it with Roman Reigns a little bit, right? Where we would see only sporadic appearances from him towards the tail end as they struggled to find storylines. Now, I think this is a great thing. And I like the fact that over the last couple of years, that Forbidden Door and that whole idea that these companies exist in completely separate universes, right, and can't acknowledge each other. I'm so glad that that's gone. Now, I don't want to see it too much. I don't want to see it where it's just like, okay, I can't differentiate between TNA and NXT, for instance. Kind of to draw a parallel since baseball season just started, if I may. You can no longer differentiate between the American League and the National League. Pitchers don't hit anymore. There's a designated hitter across all 30 teams. There's nothing that separates two different leagues. So if we were to continue to see TNA appear on NXT, if we continue to see all kinds of ROH talent appear on AEW, well, then what differentiates? So I think saving things for a special occasion, and this by far is a special occasion, right? You've got the belt collector, Mercedes Moné, and you've got Athena, the longest reigning ROH champion ever. That's a special occasion, and this is something that's worthy of the crossover. And so I'm excited to see. And you know it's got to culminate at All In when it comes to Dallas, which is Athena's hometown. So
right. Yeah, that's going to be a huge deal. So seeing her on AEW television and not just running ROH was a big deal for me
yeah,
because I'm a big fan of her. So seeing her pop back up and being thrust into a picture with Mercedes Moné, that's big time. So I hope it does culminate in a match here in Arlington, and they do it the right way, man. It's gonna be amazing.
and one of the other things I think is extremely important to take note of is that there's a whole audience, not just AEW but WWE fans who know Mercedes Moné as Sasha
Yep.
Banks, who have followed her, and so no offense to Athena or anything, of course, but like Mercedes Moné has a bigger following, and now we get to see the fallen goddess in this environment in front of an entire new crop of people who may not be familiar with just how good Athena is, and that's what's exciting to me.
Right.
Even when she was Ember Moon in WWE, she didn't really get as much of a lick on that mainstream roster. People know her from the NXT days, but people are
Yep.
probably not that familiar with just how phenomenally great she is when she's let loose and not under the WWE and NXT banners.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And yeah, just her work that she's done in ROH, she's the reason I have an ROH subscription.
And that speaks volumes.
Yeah, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So following her and what she's done with the women's division in ROH and how great she's made it, I love seeing her on a main AEW show getting that spotlight. And like it's really cool to see. And I know she's gonna kill it. That's the thing. I know she's gonna kill it. I know she's gonna go out there, put her best foot forward. If it ends with a match with Mercedes, that match is probably gonna be up for match of the year.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be something that everybody's going to be looking forward to for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get in, one more thing. I know we've talked the John Cena heel turn.
Oh yeah.
What do you think now as we've got to know him a little bit? He's cut some promos, some scathing ones, and most recently him and Cody, they had their talk together, and looks like this might be the match to watch at Mania. What are your thoughts on Cena so far in his heel run, and what are you looking forward to with Cena?
Cena's initial heel promo was it was I don't want this to come across as misconstrued.
No, you can be completely honest.
it was great. Don't get me wrong. It's everything that you would have wanted to hear from a Cena promo. However, the problem with it happening in this particular day and age, when it's so easy to differentiate, or it's so easy to kind of blur the lines between what's real and what's not, and you know who John Cena is, right?
Right.
And you know in his heart of hearts, he didn't really believe any of that stuff about how the fans are mistreating him and whatnot. Now, character-wise, absolutely, you buy into that because that makes sense for that character. But like for me, it's like, okay, John doesn't really believe that the fans really treated him like shit over the last 25 years or whatever, So it's hard. But I mean, if you're able to, accept it as what it is, as John Cena the character and how he is, then yeah, he's been great. Cody, man, I feel bad, and I don't think it's because he's outclassed in promos. I think Cody can cut a damn good promo, right? But I feel like Cody reaches too much for the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
The whole you can't wrestle thing, and it's like, is that really? That's the line that set John Cena off? Because that's supposed to be, because that was the line before John got back in the ring and the physicality started, right? So if you're going to have that line, that's got to be the be all end all of lines that sets him off. And it's like, that was the line? The you can't wrestle one? That was the line? I mean,
there's so much. There's so many other ways you could have went with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I still think this is going to be the match to watch at Mania, right? But more for the storyline part. I don't think it's going to steal the show. I think it's going to be the most newsworthy, but I don't think it's going to steal the show on the night.
That's interesting. What match do you think will still show at Mania?
That's going to be really tough. I really want to see what they end up doing with the tag team division. Because I feel like there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of talk about multi-man matches and stuff, whether it's a ladder match or whatever it is. But all of the tag teams in that division are supremely talented, and especially when they're given the time to go out and let loose, then I think that could end up being what steals the show. The other thing, I don't know. I feel like that triple threat. I feel bad that the triple threat is closing night one. I get it, the star power, but I do kind of agree with people when they're like, well, when you're gonna say that the winner of the Royal Rumble main events WrestleMania, and then they don't main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, you killed it.
If you want to say that they get a world championship match, okay. That's good. That is just as prestigious, but you can't go be telling people that this gets to main event WrestleMania. Now, on that note, and I know I'm taking up all the time.
Nah,
man. I guess I got a lot of thoughts on this. The match before Edge retired, when he defended, or he and Del Rio went at WrestleMania for the title, that opened the show.
Yeah.
So like, it's okay if a world title match doesn't main event the show, but then again, I guess neither Del Rio or Edge. No, Del Rio won the Rumble that year, didn't he?
I believe he did. Yeah,
because then
he won the Rumble
Edge retained, and then I mean, it's happened before. I think my other big problem is that people are pretending like this never happened before, and it's like, hey, it did. The winner of the Rumble didn't main event WrestleMania one of those years. So, but I think, the more that you actually say they're going to main event WrestleMania, well, you keep expecting it to happen, and then it doesn't happen. And it's kind of like, okay, well then why do we care?
Right. It's following, and that, to your point, that it directly results in Jey Uso not being taken seriously for it. Because you put him not in the main event, so people are like, okay, well then why do I want to watch this match? You know what I mean? It's like,
and God bless them. They are trying so hard to push that Uso and Gunther angle, and I think on any other show it would be phenomenal. But with it being WrestleMania, it's just it's being overshadowed, and I feel so bad because they are doing a really good job with that angle. It's just on too much of an overloaded card.
No, I feel the same exact way. And when I saw it, if he wasn't going for Cody, that's what I feared. Is exactly what's happening. Because that championship, it won't mean much if he's not against Cody. If it's not facing Cody, it don't mean as much.
Yeah. So I agree. And then I feel bad for the women's matches too. That women's triple threat match with Io and Rhea and Bianca that's going to come up. I think the build for that has been it's been decent. I won't say it's been the best build of anybody's career. I think I like what they do with Io in the fact that, like, okay, here's Rhea and Bianca going at it, and Io's like, excuse me, I'm the champ. Y'all should be fighting me, not them. And so I like the way that's going. Charlotte and Tiffany, like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're pulling the trigger too soon on Tiffany with the whole WrestleMania thing, but it makes sense. It's just not the most interesting feud on the card.
No, you're right.
They're giving it their all. They're making a story out of it. It's just, it doesn't feel like it's world championship or WWE Women's Championship material kind of feud.
Right. Yeah, and it's like the theme of WrestleMania. It's like they're trying to give you something, but the grandness of Mania, it doesn't feel like that to me.
Which is so weird because
it's weird.
top to bottom, it is star-studded, and the
Yes.
matches are gonna be bangers without a doubt.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel like the build is there, which is so weird to say because the build is there. It just doesn't seem like a cohesive card. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense because you
Yeah,
have the people, you know the matches are going to be there, but
yeah.
I don't for
Seems
some reason I'm just
disjointed.
not I'm not as invested in it as I know like I need to be. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like I need to be there to watch this match.
And maybe it's because it's hard to like put the whole card together, right?
Right.
Knowing that, you've got, where would you put Charlotte and Tiffany, right? They're not going to curtain jerk, but then are they going to semi main, which is a decent spot, but like any other place on that card, it gets lost.
Right.
So that's what the weird feeling is. It's like you don't know where any of these matches are going to happen. Same with Uso and Gunther, right? That's not going to curtain jerk, So where does that get placed in the card where it makes most sense for people to be like, "Ooh, this one's coming up,"
Right.
and
Right.
I don't feel that.
Right. Exactly. So we'll see. We got about 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see. All right, man. Let's jump in. Let's jump into the show. I think we've
Yeah.
talked enough about other stuff. Let's talk about MPX coming up. All right. So we talked about all night long being a great show. I do want to focus a little bit on that main event. Rich
Yeah.
Swann versus the Lynn Cavens.
Oh, such a good match.
Absolute banger, man.
Yeah.
That was a banger of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. I need Delin Cavens to make sure that most of his highlight reel is stuff from that match. It was such a good display from both men about that. It had just the right amount of goofiness. It had
Yep.
just the right amount of serious athleticism. And what's funny about it is that there wasn't anything on the line.
Right.
There was no like
Right.
Delin's already in the prison break match where Rich Swann is already Rich Swann. It's nothing but pride. And we got to put that on as the main event, and it felt like a big match feel. It felt like a title match, even though there wasn't a
Absolutely.
title on the line. And
Right.
that's great.
And it was absolutely amazing, man. And then at the end, I love what Rich Swann did at the end of that match.
Absolutely. Huge ups.
He,
And
yeah,
and
huge,
I hope
huge,
that gets put
huge
out.
ups
Yeah.
on him. Yeah, and it realistically, what he said was true. Like this felt like Delenn was making that next step up, man. He really showed a lot in this match. Not that it wasn't already there, that he doesn't show it on the regular, but this match, I can't wait to the. I hope this one hits the YouTube because I
Yeah.
need to share it.
Oh, it
I need
absolutely
to
will.
share
Yeah,
it.
for sure. And you know, I I know we talked earlier about wrestling organizations kind of being in their own separate universes and stuff, but I got to tell you, this year is probably going to be the year of Dylan Cavens. Um,
Mm,
a few weeks ago, he won the Hot Pro Wrestling Network Championship.
yep,
He's going to be involved in this prison break match for the MPX Prospect Championship, and we just saw from Demo Diamond where that Prospect Championship leads to.
yep.
And then next week at DFW All Pro in Heavenbound, Cavens has a shot at the DFW All Pro Championship. He's got the title opportunities coming his way all in a row. And
Yeah.
it's going to show just how over Cavens is. Everyone loves him.
Oh
He's an
yeah.
athlete of the
Yeah.
highest quality.
Absolutely, man. And it's been so exciting to see his growth
Hmm.
in such a short period of time to where he is now. It's like it's crazy, and how the people latch on to him wherever he's at. Yeah, you're right. 2025 may indeed be the year of Delenn Cavens.
And I hope so because I love the guy. He's such a good guy, and I'm so proud to be able to say that I know him and that I get to shout his name in that ring. And personally for me, it's one of my favorite entrances to announce, and I'm glad I get to do it.
Yeah, it's so energetic. It's so energetic. It's awesome, man. But yeah, that match, I would be remiss if we didn't shout out that match. Another match that I wanna go to is the debut in House Sagan for Tatum Manning.
Oof, yeah.
And how that went. He refused to do what House Sagan wanted to do, and again, it cost him.
Yeah, and this is going to kind of be the problem with Tatum, right? Is that in House Sagan, he's going to be unwilling to commit all the way. He's kind of got 1 foot in, 1 foot out,
Yep.
and as much as I hate to say it, if he wants his career to be successful, he kind of just has to swallow his pride, kind of accept the fact this is what it is, and you just got to make the best of the situation. Is it going to be everything you ever wanted? Is it going to be the best thing like for your moral compass? No, probably
Nope.
not. But for your professional career, if you half-ass things, you're going to keep ending up exactly the way that match ended up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's something that I hate saying. And you know, from
Yeah, you're a
Destiny,
Tatum
I
guy,
was
100%.
yeah, I'm a Tatum guy. I was like, I'll follow you, man. But
Yeah,
actually seeing him in House Sagan, like you could tell he's just miserable.
yeah.
And we got a comment. Hey, what's up, Mac? This is Willie McCoy Jr. What's
Oh,
up,
hey,
folks?
cool.
What's up? But yeah, it's it's I hate seeing it, man. I really do.
Sure.
It-
I know. But again, he's got to accept that this is how things are for right now. Now, he again, I think we've got an opportunity for him to do what he wants to do by taking out House Sagan from the inside. But there's got to be the convincing full buy-in.
yeah.
And it's if he just keeps doing what he did this past weekend, it's not going to happen. He's just going to keep losing matches because he's caught between what he wants to do and what he should do.
Yeah. And again, checking your emotions. Another person that needs to check their emotions right now is the former MPX champion. That's Kari Wright.
Yeah.
Him and Shea Carmichael going up against Set 6 didn't turn out in his favor either.
No, definitely not. And I mean, obviously, Exodus has been in this game for an incredibly long time, and he knows how to get under people's skin, especially somebody as close as he is to Kari. He knows what's going to push those buttons.
Yep.
And it's just got to fall on Kari. It's almost like seeing a mirror image of what Tatum went through. He's got to understand that, yeah, these are the games that are going to be played, and he's got to not let that stuff get under his skin.
It's kind of surprised. Well, it's not, because it's like you said, it's the same scenario in which girlfriends were involved, right?
Yeah.
It is surprising to me a little bit that Kari is normally the calculated one.
He is,
and it seems like
cool.
He's on the other end of this now.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, Exodus is going to take advantage of that full force. But it's a matter of, okay, what is Kari willing to do? How far is he going to go? And can he keep himself in check long enough to see his plan through? But on the other side, we haven't seen this side of Exodus in forever, right? Since the time I've known him, I haven't seen this side of Exodus, and so we don't know what Exodus is willing to do to be able to make a statement, kind of get what he wants. He sees Kari as a stepping stone to get to his ultimate goal, and that's getting back to the MPX championship. So what is he willing to do to get back to that mountaintop? I think we're seeing a lot of it.
Right. Exactly. Let's go to another comment. Stop by real quick to say I love the props and coverage on these up and coming athletes and the smaller promotions that has me following them on YouTube and enjoying their journey to bigger and better. I love that.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Willie. Thank you.
This is why we're here, man.
MPX, of course, on YouTube at MPX Network. So I mean, that's definitely where you're going to catch a lot of these clips getting uploaded. I can't wait to see that Rich Swann match.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I shared the triple threat from Destiny, the main event, and rewatching that match and how we got here is just It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast things can change.
Yep.
So yeah, man. But let's talk about hard times. Let's jump into the match because we got the full card announced, right? We got the full card, right? Hello? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. You got me?
Not sure who's out on the connection or not. A situation where both of us have kind of had internet issues here and there.
You good? Let me know. Uh-oh. Let me give him a second real quick. Give him a second. Hope he jumps back in. You got me, buddy? It's weird.
Oh, hello.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That was weird.
That was weird.
All right. But let's jump into hard times, man. Because we got the full card that was announced, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I feel like
Okay.
maybe there's one missing, but I don't know. They've been 7-match cards recently, so we might
Yeah.
have seen everything that's come forward from it. There's a
Okay.
lot to look forward to, though. That's for
It
sure.
is. There is.
Um,
Let's start with a huge opportunity match here. JoJo versus Dalton Gray. And
Oh,
Dalton's a
God.
guy that I've kept my eyes on
I
for a
know.
while. With his YouTube channel. Shout out to him. Follow Dalton Gray on YouTube. He posts all of his matches on YouTube. So
Which I'm greatly apprecitive of
yeah, I
because
love
he
it. I
always
love it.
includes the entrances in there. So I get to use those for my highlight reel too. So it's great.
I love it, man. But yeah, make sure you guys go follow him. But huge opportunity going up against JoJo.
Yeah, this is going to be a real interesting match to see how both of these two play off each other. They're both relatively new stars in MPX, right? Both making their impressions and debuts within the past 365 days, within the past year. Completely different styles, right?
Yep.
You've got Gray, who honestly is a more polished, like actual wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Versus JoJo, who's really great at just throwing his body at people. And I think it comes down to how Dalton can bend the rules a little bit and how far he's
Yeah.
willing to go. And also whether the Scorn is out at ringside, because the Scorn have their own things that they've got to attend to. And I
Yep.
don't know necessarily that Tommy and Gabe are going to be at ringside for Dalton Gray's match here as he looks to get into the Prison Break match.
Yeah. Great opportunity for the Prison Break. I do think Dalton can get grimy when he needs to. I think this is the perfect opportunity.
But you know what? We've seen JoJo get down and dirty. I don't know if it's
Exactly.
necessarily grimy, but he knows how to get down and dirty and things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go to another qualifying match for the Prison Break. Just Nick versus Rex Mori.
Yeah, and now here's a couple of people that we haven't seen on a regular basis in a while. It's always good to see Just Nick. And Just Nick is scary sneaky is what I like to call him, right?
Absolutely.
He comes out of that curtain, he's a good time. He's slapping his head, he's getting all the crowd hype and all that stuff. But the guy can go. The guy can absolutely go. And that's a huge thing. I would love to see Just Nick in the Prison Break match. By that same token, Rex Mori, the embodiment of violence. When was the last time you saw Rex Mori in an MPX ring, Calvin?
Long time. It's been at least 2 years.
I remember Rex Mori coming in for a couple of weeks as a member of Set 6 for a very brief point in time. He was there. It was like a flash in the pan. But
I
now
don't even
he's kind of
remember that.
Yeah, it was towards the early stages of set 6 when they all had their masks on still, but I
Ah.
I don't know if this is like one of those cases where like we're supposed to kind of forget that that happened. Well, I don't know if we'll see a nod to it. But Rex Maury has been making a name for himself across Texas as one of
Yep.
like the most violent people to step into a ring. And while there are rules in this match, this isn't any kind of hardcore death match or anything. Maury's a guy that knows he wants to get to that prison break match so that he can unleash some real violence.
Yep. Yep. And that is going to be a theme of the night.
Hmm.
Violence.
Lots of violence,
There's a lot of
especially
violence
yeah,
scheduled for that night.
and especially as we speaking of excessive violence, right? We've got to go talk about Parabellum coming back
Yeah.
to MPX and challenging the Sons of Mayhem for the tag team championships. That's gonna be so good. That's gonna be such a good tag match.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I'm looking forward to that because that is a huge test for the Sons of Mayhem.
It is. You've got two teams that are obviously very familiar with each other. I think we can go ahead and get past the idea that the Sons of Mayhem are recently reunited and could have that chemistry issue. Now they're completely on the same page now, and so you've got two great tag teams that are going to go against each other here, and it's going to be fantastic to see. I'm very much looking forward to this tag match.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking forward to them, but also they may have eyes on them because there's a number one contenders match that
Oh
night
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
The
We were just
Scorn
talking about the
versus
Scorn.
the Scorn versus excessive violence.
Now think about it think about it this way, right? What if Parabellum ends up dethroning the Sons of Mayhem and then excessive violence, Langley and Sky end up with the number one contendership? Do we see an excessive violence civil war? Uh,
Ooh.
that's
Ooh.
that's a possibility,
That
and
is a
man, it's so tough because people are going to be pulling one way or another for some of these other teams, but man, I I wouldn't mind seeing an excessive violence civil war. Um, that'd be kind of
I
a
would
cool thing to see.
I would love to see it. Also, so last week Sky made a declaration of sorts. He's
Yeah.
saying he's bringing the monster back. I wonder if he makes the monster come out in this match and we actually do get that matchup.
Yeah, I wonder that too because the Scorn, man, for all of their talk about being the best tag team in MPX, which arguably they are, right? The most tag team championship reigns in MPX history. Um, for all of that talk, they kind of seem to be spinning their wheels a little bit lately, right? It's
Yeah.
been a little bit of an issue, and I'm not just talking the pre-show matches and stuff where we've seen Tommy or Gabe or whatever come out on top, but we saw Prince lose to Adam Green. We
Yep.
saw and Prince has lost in I don't want to say embarrassing fashion, but he's definitely been, so to speak, caught with his pants down a couple of times and
Yeah.
lost in ways where like, what are you doing? You're better than this. You could have beaten him like this. And then Gabe losing the excessive violence match last week.
Yep.
Um, it's a good time for Dalton Gray to get in and get his shine on, but it just seems like the Scorn is having some problems, and maybe that has to do with Richard Hill not being there.
That could be. They probably do just need the guidance. But we've seen this with set 6, right?
Sure,
And now look at them. They're stronger than ever right now.
they
So
are.
there's lows and highs, and I think right now we're in a little bit of a low with the scoring, but that's not to say that they're not capable of turning it around because they absolutely are.
Yeah, they obviously are as long as they understand, as long as they know that they can. And I
Right.
think that's kind of the thing. They just kind of believe that they can keep doing what they're doing and be successful, but I think they've got to realize this kind of streak that they're on in a negative way and kind of realize, oh, something's weird. We got to either turn it up all the way or change directions and go a different route. But like they've got to realize that they got to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And one match that I'm looking forward to is Big Luther versus Tommy Becker.
Oh man, yeah. So we saw this coming out of last week when Luther tossed around Divinium. God bless them. Glad I'm so grateful to have seen Titan Yin and Riley Gren. Always love seeing those two come down here. But boy, what a mountain they had to climb in Big Luther, and
Yep.
the Tommy Becker coming out for the save. But this is gonna be kind of a different match for Becker than he's had in the
Oh
last
yeah.
several months. He's had to face. I mean, Demo is about the closest thing to a monster that he's gotten. But Luther's a different story,
That is a
right?
big ham hock right there.
Yeah, that's a big ankle to try to break. But then again, everybody's the same size when they don't have their legs under them.
Yep.
So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the best in Texas there, the Tommy Becker, goes up against Luther. Very excited to see
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. And then we got a debut.
We got two.
Two
We got two.
debuts.
Yes.
So the first one we have is all still Jay Fowler.
Yeah.
He's coming in making his debut, and he's going to be taking on Adam Green.
Yeah. I think this is a great showcase for Adam Green, who's had to kind of deal with a lot of matches where he's had to be like extremely emotionally invested in him. Not
Yep.
just talking about the Tatum Manning match, but he's had some issues here with set 6. He's had some issues here with the Scorn. This is a good showcase for Adam Green to just kind of like clear his head and get straight to like doing what he does. Right. And
Right.
a good wrestling match. And this is a great way for him to build some momentum going into Prison Break, knowing that he qualified. Or no, he didn't qualify for that.
No, he did
But
not.
it's a good way for him to just kind of like clear the air, get rid of all of these like other storylines, so to speak, and just kind of get in there and do what he does.
Focus on him.
I don't know much about Fowler. I will do my research in the next couple of days for sure before we actually get there. But like, the dude looks like a mountain of a man. He looks jacked. The man looks like he's intense.
He looks like Triple H. I'm gonna just put that out there.
Sure. Yeah. He looks like Jay Alexander is another one. This other like big dude that's just solid muscle, ready to toss people around. So kind of looking forward to seeing how those two styles interplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second, the Blaze of Glory, Leon King is making his MPX.
Yeah. Against Mikey B. And I love everything about Leon King already. I love the idea of the Blaze of Glory. I love the flamboyance. I love the showmanship. I love that out there because, and again, I don't know much about him, and I will be more than happy to do my research on in the next couple of days. But I can already tell, like, beneath all of that lies an incredibly impressive athlete that can absolutely wow in the ring, and no better person to go up against than Mikey B. I can hardly wait to see the antics that go on between those two, and the kind of the showmanship that goes off between those
one
two.
Up, that one has entertainment written all over it.
Yeah, very excited for it.
Very much excited for it. So. Again, Hard Times, that's the card, man. It looks like we have a great night of action scheduled. And this one may be a long talked about show.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be a lot that comes out of this, and a lot of great action that comes out of it that people are going to be like, man, you remember that? It's going to be a trivia question, right? It's going to be like, wow, there was that one show that we saw this really fantastic tag team match or this really fantastic one-on-one match, and it's going to be Hard Times. So very much looking forward to how this goes down.
Absolutely. Goes down Saturday.
That's right.
Doors open at 7:15, 501 Harwood Road. Make sure you guys go. Shout out to everybody that's been sponsoring the shows. We are a sponsor, but shout out to everybody else that's been sponsoring, man. There's been some great sponsors you guys got. I've been making it a point to go check them out since they've been sponsoring, and I haven't been let down yet.
Yep, supporting the sponsors means that you're supporting MPX. And, Kelvin, would be remiss if I didn't say happy anniversary to Metroplex Wrestling.
Happy anniversary.
Putting on their first show in front of a paying crowd 15 years ago today, on April 3rd, breaking ground, the first MPX champion was crowned. So crazy.
I saw that post. That was actually today, because I thought I missed it. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and thanks to Izzy James for making that post and making me realize that was in fact 15 years ago today.
You were on that poster, right?
Sure am. Yeah, crazy to see how far our little promotion that we just kind of started as kids with dreams, and to see where we're at now. Just having welcomed Rich Swann into the building. That's crazy.
Nah, man, I tell as many people as I can, man. MPX it's in North Texas, it's number one for me. So,
and I appreciate that.
It's a great weekly show. It really is a great weekly show.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
we're hoping to see everybody out there. Hard Times this Saturday, 510 Harwood Road. Go to mpxwrestling.com for your tickets.
Absolutely, man. Anything else you got?
No, that's going to be all for right now, but
all right, man. Well, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in to No Gimmicks this week on MPX. Make sure you guys come back next week. Until then, you guys take care of each other. Be safe. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. Peace.
See you later.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.